One of the biggest puzzles that many practices have is they all kind of look and sound the same. Even though you know you're unique, telling that story so that somebody that doesn't know you understands that is challenging. In this episode, I'm going to share 5 ways that you can create points of difference in your practice without fundamentally changing anything that you do. My name is Ollie Luke. Welcome to the Business of Hearing podcast. If you're a private practice hearing care leader that wants to grow reputation, recognition, and revenue to be the obvious choice in your community, then you are in the right place. Now, let's start with the obvious, right? When patients go looking, it's a little bit challenging to decide who to choose. One thing I've observed in my time in the industry in the past 8 years is there's a lot of wonderful practices that do great work, care greatly, but they really struggle to tell the story. They struggle to articulate what's different about them. They all answer like our care's better, our service is better, our team are great. It all kind of sounds the same. The problem is when everyone sounds the same, it makes you look like everyone else. It makes you difficult to stand out. It makes you easy to compete with, and you kind of get lost in that mere confusion that kind of sits as people look across lots and lots of practices. Now, there is some relatively simple things that you can do in order to create a point of difference, to be able to stand out, to be able to have something that is noteworthy and talk-worthy that more and more people recommend you. And it all falls into kind of 5 key buckets. And I'll walk you through each of the 5. Now, you may want one of these, you may want multiple of these, but these are key things that you can put into place that allow you to easily have a strong point of difference that isn't going to fundamentally change your internal operations. Here's the first one. The first one is all focused on outcome over input. Now, when patients come to you as a practice, what do you fundamentally deliver for them? Because the reason any of us make a purchase is because we want some form of outcome, whether that is purchasing lunch, purchasing an alcoholic drink, or purchasing a hearing care treatment plan with somebody like you, right? Everybody is coming for some form of outcome off the back of it. The challenge we've always had as an industry is the outcome we kind of promise them is a set of hearing aids, which is very, very transactional, which is essentially selling them some technology, which isn't actually what we deliver, but it's the belief that we deliver that. It actually creates confusion and lowers the bar that we have in an industry. We make sure it's easier to compete with, easier to price shop, etc. My encouragement to you, if you want to create a point of difference, is focus on how you achieve an outcome for the patient and what that journey looks like to get to the outcome. So let me give you an example, right? If patient comes to you and they're like, I've got a hearing challenge, why should I choose you? If you can say, well, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to help you get to a stage where you're hearing everything that you want in the way that you want. That's the goal. Here's the methodical process of how we're going to get there. It's going to involve this. We then need to do this. We've then got this appointment. At this appointment, we're going to do this, this, and this. It's not, we're going to fit you a hearing aids and then give you some follow-up care, or we've got some service following it, right? That completely devalues everything. The more you can build a journey and roadmap of how you're going to get them there, and hearing aids are a component of it, the more it creates a unique methodology that you have that is uniquely yours. It's a signature system that has your name, your unique label and coding to it, that all of a sudden allows somebody to invest in something different than a set of hearing aids. It allows you to flex your expertise, deliver service the way that you want to do it, and take them on this journey. And there's even simple things you can do, right? One thing that always gives me a shiver down my spine is follow-up appointment. Like you labeling an appointment follow-up. Like that is such vanilla language, right? Because when a patient's fitted, that follow-up appointment, what could that actually be labeled that gives it more meaning, more purpose, and more specificity? You could call it a real-world adjustments appointment, because fundamentally that's what's going to happen. all of a sudden, now it's unique, now it's got a purpose, now the patient knows what they're turning up for, no one else offers this. This is now uniquely your custom coding and labeling. What's the next one? It's not the second follow-up. Could you call it technology optimization? Because what you're going to do is you're going to ensure that technology is performing, they're connected to their cell phone, everything they need connected to. Maybe they need an accessory at this point to maximize the benefits. Like, you could build a journey that you take them through, whether that's 6 months, 12 months, 3 years, 5 years. You can almost set the precedent. You could even set the precedent that we're going to do this for 4 years, and at the 4th year mark, that's where we're going to have a technology review appointment. And guess what's going to happen? We're going to explore new technology, and if that's going to get you better outcomes, right? You can build your signature system, your process, but all focused on the outcome. But if somebody comes to your website and they say, okay, here's the journey, and this is how they're going to get there, it's going to be an infographic that explains it, all of a sudden, what they get with you is significantly different to anyone else, and it creates a strong point of difference that allows you to stand out in a sea of sameness. The second one is developing, we'll call it a signature experience. Now, there's a wonderful book from a guy called Jay Baer called Talk Triggers. And essentially, if you've got to take the book and put a summary on it, it is, what do people say about you that isn't what you do? So if somebody was to talk to their friend, a patient was to talk to their friend about you, what would they say about your practice that isn't, they help me with my hearing care? Like, what is the experience? What is the memory? What is the thing that's unique about you? And this is where you have autonomy to play. Because I don't know about you, but I didn't start a business to be really bored. Like, fun is nice, right? Being human, actually having some fun along the journey is nice. And if you can inject that into your business, the better. And I found that what Orange and Grey has allowed me to do is visit places I like to visit through the guise of work, go and hang out with cool people who I like hanging out with through the guise of work. And similarly for you, could you inject fun into your experience or something that's a little bit interesting? So for example, really, really simple one. There's a practice that bakes cookies fresh every morning. And apparently they're these amazing, amazing cookies. Like, all patients go mad for them. Now, is that really groundbreaking? No. But what happens when patients turn up? They get warm cookies every single time. Now, when a patient is telling somebody else about you as a practice, what's the thing that they may say that isn't the fact you help them with their hearing care? It's they have these amazing cookies, right? It could be something as simple as that. Another practice, they invite their patients to submit songs every month that will make which will make a Spotify playlist that is played in the waiting room while people wait for appointments. Once again, is it super complex to do? No. Is it a talk trigger? Is it a signature experience? Absolutely. But you could tie this into anything, right? Patient reaches a certain milestone, they get some form of gift, which is a surprise and delight moment, a shock and awe moment for the patient. Like, you could look at this in so many different ways, right? You could take pictures of a patient that create this kind of Polaroid wall full of patient pictures. Like, this doesn't have to be complicated. You just need to go, okay, what is the one thing that we can do unique that is us, that will allow people to talk about us behind our back and remember us in a unique way, which isn't affiliated to the fact we help them with their hearing. If you can lean into that, then it creates a signature experience. The more you overthink it, the harder this is. Whatever's in your head right now, it's probably worth just doing that. But keep it simple. Don't allow it to impact operations or change anything fundamentally, or you're going to have 10 team meetings to roll it out. Keep it simple. The simple things often are the ones that will leave the lasting impression. The third thing for creating a point of difference, and you're probably not going to be surprised that I say this, is know who you're for. The easiest way to stand out is be very specific that you're for a certain set of people. And what I mean by that is, if you're trying to be for everyone, you're kind of for nobody. The more specificity you can have, that these are the patients that we're the best fit for, the better, right? That could mean that you're very much for people who are price focused and you play that card. I wouldn't recommend it. It could be the ones who really want the white glove treatment and you very much lean into it. It could be you're for people who are still actively working and want to get the most of their hearing for work. It could be the ones who are so focused on being great grandparents that you double down on that. But the more you can specify, like, these are the people that we help, and you can have multiple who's, then all of a sudden it's an easy way to stand out. If you want to create a point of difference, you can say, we help these people to achieve this core desire that they have. And all of a sudden, you stand out pretty significantly against everyone else. And this is like what we do with Orange and Grey fundamentally. Like, we help practices to become the obvious choice in their community. We help unique. We don't help all businesses. We don't help all hearing care businesses. We help private practice hearing care clinics to achieve core desire, which is become the obvious choice that private pay pre-sold patients choose. Like, you can have the same for you, but you need to know who you're for, understand what they want to achieve, and you can tell that story as sharp and specific as possible. Number 4, if you want to create a point of difference, you have the ability right now more than ever, where no one else is doing it, to create content that stands out. Now, creating content is essentially record a few videos of yourself, write educational pieces, whatever it may be. But if you want to do it with a twist, and I think the more you can lean into a twist, the better, then consider what is the ways that you can apply some theme or something interesting to make you stand out. And if all your competitors right now started creating video content as well, what would make you be more unique? And I think there may be a clue here, right? This is a podcast that's being recorded. And if you're watching the video version on YouTube, this is not me in a podcast studio. This is me sat in the pub with a beer. That is content with a twist, right? There's something about it that is a little more eye-catching than just general podcast studio. It naturally applies some personality with professional. Like, could you do the same? And this could be audiology over coffee. This could be, I don't know, what is an interest? If you like walking your dog, it could be morning walk hearing tips, whatever it may be. Like, the more you can apply a bit of a twist, make it unique, show personality as you deliver the professionalism, like, that is an ability to create strong content that all of a sudden has a twist to it, which is another point of difference that you have that allows you to stand out once again in a market that is generally quite bland, where everybody is frightened to stand out. And then the final one is the depth of explanation. So, patient looks at your website, right? You say, we deliver the best in hearing healthcare, we deliver best practice, etc. Best practice being the ultimate buzzword that doesn't really mean anything, unfortunately. Could you do the work to show what that means? Now, I think utopia on this is project for you. Explain what you do in your hearing evaluation to the most in-depth level that you possibly could. If you create a 4,000 word document sharing everything you do in your hearing evaluation, that would be incredible, right? The more you can put depth to it, the more you can explain it, knowing that nobody's going to read it. But if you can have a page that's like, oh, here's how our hearing evaluations work, like, all of a sudden somebody looks at that, that's a pretty big point of difference. If you value the high levels of care that you bring and the fact you do all the little things that most people don't, show it, don't tell it, right? Be very clear. Detail it, detail it, detail it. Know that it doesn't matter if people aren't going to read it. The fact they can see it. It's a prime example of this from a practice in Minnesota. And they've done the work to build their hearing evaluation into I think it's 20 steps. But each step is like, boom, big part of content. Here's everything that we're doing. Now, I read it, I don't understand it, and I feel like I know the industry better than the average patient. But that's not important. What's going on now is somebody seeing it and going, these clearly do this to a significantly higher standard, because a hearing test is not a hearing test. And that commodity risk that sits there, where they think what they get with Costco is what they'll get with you, the more we can create that point of difference that goes, actually, it's pretty damn different. That creates big point of difference. So hopefully this gives you some insights into how you can establish a point of difference that doesn't change the status quo of your practice, whether that is building it over outcome, rather than input by creating the flow of how that works, whether that is developing that signature experience that is uniquely yours, which is the thing that people say behind your back about you that isn't what you do, whether it's being very specific for who you're for so you can speak directly to who they are and their core desires, whether it's creating content with a twist that allows you to stand out, or whether it's going into the depth to explain the brilliance of what you do. It could be more than one, but these are power plays that you can make that ensure that when people look at you, who are the types of patients that you want, you are the obvious choice for them. And hopefully that helps you to build a practice based on the patients that light you up every single day, pay you what you're worth, and make your life significantly easier while allowing you to grow your impact. But hopefully that has been helpful. As always, appreciate your ears, your eyes, your attention. If you're listening to this while driving, drive safe. I know a lot of people do. And I will catch you again next week with another episode.